This video is brought to you by Slate Black Industries. For grips and accessories, visit slateBlackIndustries.com.
Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction Company where we are taking a look at what is arguably the best Mauser sniper rifle ever made, and that is the Swedish m41b.
Joshua, we have a 6.5 precision rifle on deck. Premium glass from Germany.
Normally, I'd be very, very excited.
Are you not excited, though? widely considered as the best sniper rifle from World War II.
Nice.
Ironically, fielded by a country that was neutral.
Womp womp.
All right. We're set.
All right, I'm there. I'm on at 150. Impact. Center. Nice. 200, sir. Impact.
Center high.
That's right. Upper chest. Stacked.
Okay, so before we started this run, I let Josh look through the optic. What's the consensus?
Glass is extremely clear for that that era.
Shocking. Honestly,
Very, very nice.
As someone who's used to like Soviet stuff and UK stuff from that era, this is very shocking to see.
250.
250.
Impact. Did you change your hold?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the second shot?
Up at the neck.
Okay. I saw, was that first shot low?
It was, I mean, below the center line, but it wasn't like low.
Okay, that's what I saw, and then I decided to give it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the first shot was in his upper abdominals.
Okay.
And I'm there at
300.
Impact. Just below center. Again, upper abdominals. Impact. Just right of center. Maybe right half.
Okay.
Across the center line of the plate.
Okay, I'm gonna dial to 3. The 300 setting for the next one.
Okay. We are on at 350.
Okay.
Impact. Right edge. Press left. At least over into the left. If that was a dead wind hold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Press towards the left edge. Oh, that's right where that one went.
On the left edge?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep. So let's go with yes, it is starting to. There is wind now.
Yeah. Push it slight left.
Yeah. Let's go like left half. Right.
Left half. All right.
All right. I'm on at 400.
I'm bumping 350. 350 just correlated a little bit.
Splash. Off the left edge, high at the neckline. Impact center, just right of center. Impact.
500?
No, sir. 450.
Oh, 450. You're right. Bump it up to 400 meters.
Okay.
Left half.
Yeah, favor left. Impact.
Is that the shoulder
It
left?
is upper left in the shoulder. Man. Go to a belly or a lower third line of the plate hold.
Center.
Center. Send it. Impact, right edge. Wind is very tough right now.
Oof.
Very tough.
But still, she's maintaining so far.
Yep. Okay, I'm on at 5. Impact center, re-engage. Impact.
Left half, still.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 hits were real good.
Okay. Now keep in mind I'm using a 4X, so definitely easy to adjust on the windage, right?
Yeah. All right, on glass. Impact center, re-engage.
These are one-shot hits.
Oh, okay. You want to go to the next?
Yeah. For the DMR course, right? One-shot hits?
Yeah, okay.
If we have left, I mean, I'd rather we expend it on the longest distance.
Fine.
target.
All right, I'm on at the 680 setting.
680.
Or target, rather.
I'm rolling with 600 meters. That
Okay.
would be closest to 680, all right?
Yep, sounds good. Okay, I'm there. Fire when ready.
The American bird.
Splash. High, just over his head. Ease the windage back to just left of center and drop half a target.
Got it. Drop half target.
Impact.
I see it's on a butt.
It was just off on them, just right of center.
All right.
Man, that wind, it's so tough right now. You guys can see Henry basically was holding over the head, or holding, in line with the head. Windage, where did it come in? In line with the head.
Yeah.
And then the next shot, you were holding, basically just left of center, right? And where did it come in? Right of center.
With that long barrel, you get very low muzzle flash and smoke, which is very advantageous for a sniper.
All right, man, you ready?
Well, I had 3 loose rounds. What's your confidence level that we'll clear it in 3?
I'm hopeful we can get it here in the first shot.
I'm
800,
confident, my good man.
830.
830, I'll do a center hold. We're at 7-7-ish.
Okay. Center hold.
Center hold left edge.
Ready. Impact.
Right side, right?
Yep, right of center.
Right of center.
Upper
Nice.
quarter of the plate.
You want me to
Very
do
nice.
another one? I have 2 more rounds.
Okay, I'm on. Press left quarter target. Impact. Basically center.
Nice.
You're maybe like from an actual like measurement, 2 or 3 inches high, maybe 2 inches right.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
So the M41b.
No. Crack that other box. Crack that other box, Big Daddy.
All right.
We
Crack it open.
now there's going to be a little bit of trying to figure this out here, right? But
Yeah.
dude, let's.
The optic is bottomed out right now.
Oh,
So we're going to play with reference points, right?
it's your favorite game, Henry.
Anyone who shoots these oldies knows how to do this. All right. And these cartridges are my loads, loaded to the specs of the M41 cartridge. So this is as close as I can get to matching the service load. All right, I'm going to... well, actually, it goes above what I could. What's the next one, 900?
911.
Okay, I am at the top edge I could go to see how it lands, all right?
Okay, what is that?
It's more than 800 meters.
Okay, 8 and a little?
8 and some.
8 and a little, got it.
8 and bottomed out on the far end.
Well, maybe just go back to 8 so we have a reference point.
Okay. So 800 meters.
Hold top line of the plate.
Hold top line. We'll see how it goes.
And I'd go just off the left edge.
Okay, ready?
Ready. Impact. Right of center.
Excellent on the spotting support, Josh.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And now we really stretch the capability.
Shall I bottom it out now?
Sure.
It's like, if I'm looking at the numbers and the change of the numbers,
Yes.
if there were a fictional number 9, it would be right here.
Awesome. Let's go. Fictional number 9. This target's 975-ish. We'll go for the one on the right. There's 3 plates, right? The 911 and then 2 back plates.
Got it.
The high and the low one. Go for the lower one.
Got it.
Okay, so we'll try top line of the plate. Off the left edge. Call it quarter target off the left edge.
Got it. Ready?
Send it. Splash high, just over the top of the plate, about a quarter target off the right edge. So press left, a full half target, go back to a straight across the middle hole. You're on the top line, right?
Yes.
Go to, shoot, maybe even the lower third line of the plate, okay?
Okay, so...
lower third line of the plate, half target left. Ooh, no call. Impact, center.
Center right?
I mean, right by,
Yeah.
right by an inch or two,
No,
yeah.
what I wanted to demonstrate is I can actually see it through the optic.
Very nice.
A 4x optic.
Congrats, man. That is a crazy good... What did you make an adjustment on, if anything, between the no-call shot and that shot? Just eased windage a bit, or...?
Yeah, I just pushed windage farther to the left.
Farther to the left. Okay, got it.
Because I was wondering if it was dropping off to the right. That was a Jesus take my wheel moment.
Very nice, man. That was sick. Absolutely sick.
I mean, how many drop shots? 2?
Not much.
For a course like this?
Not much. I mean,
Which,
that was sick.
Puts it pretty far up there.
Yeah.
For a rifle made in 1909 and a conversion done probably in like 42. How old does it make this thing?
It was in 49?
No. 1909 the base rifle was made.
Okay.
The conversion took place around 42, 43.
Okay. So it's a math on camera. 2009, 2019,
That's-
110 years plus another 5. 5 to 6, depending.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 116 years old.
Well, no. 19, yeah. 116-year-old rifle.
Insane. Insane.
Um,
Ridiculous. I mean, that was crazy. That was really good. Great shooting.
I mean, so, okay. All right. So, Ian and I have had a lot of friendly debates on whether this is...
No. Put him back on.
Oh, they're about to shoot?
No, your mic.
Oh, good call. Sorry about that. Sorry, Josh has informed me that I was doing a boo-boo right here. So, Ian, over at Forgotten Weapons, and I have had a lot of debate on whether this was the best sniper from World War II.
These are really nice sniper rifles, really nice precision rifles, and will shoot, I suspect, just as well today as they did throughout their entire military service lives. Sweden used nice, clean ammo. These weren't ever abused in combat, and they're great shooting guns.
Because obviously this is what normal people talk about over the phone all the time. And so I prefer the Lee Enfield No. 4 Mark 1T. However, we've shot that on the course. This far exceeds the performance of the number 4 Mark 1T. This is, yes, these are hand loads, so were the T. But this, when you're looking at dropping what the Swedes were doing here, back to modern precision shooting techniques and standards, I'm not saying this can hang just as well as the modern rifles, but damn, 6.5?
You did that with the 4x.
4x optic. Now, granted, really good glass. The clarity is excellent.
Yeah,
for the
but
era.
the refinement of the aiming is tough.
There's no dialing, obviously. It's all referencing off the the target quadrants. But excellent steel. The Swedes are known for using excellent steel. So the steel used for the barrels are amazing. This one is a pure Swedish made. So this is a Carl Gustaf made rifle with great steel, great machining, great optic, amazing cartridge design. Josh, I mean, it's really difficult to argue that this is not one of the best of the World War II snipers. Now, in actual practice, fortunately for the Swedish soldiers, they didn't have to go to war, because that was a pretty horrendous experience for a lot of those who partook in it. But because of that, we don't have a lot of information on how these things would have performed in the field if it were fired at anger. But barring that, against the steel army that we have right here,
Crushed.
I think of all the CNR rifles, this is probably the most lethal, if not the most lethal. Well, it is the most lethal one. And of all the CNRs, all these Swedes have been able to reach at longer distances than their counterparts.
Yeah. I mean, the caliber makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. Anyways, Josh, anything else? See you guys at the debrief.
Oh, hello there. I was just deeply consumed with the excellence in Swedish optimization of foreign weapon systems. Now, all of these weapons were actually purchased through 9-hole reviews. And with the support of Slate Black Industries and our small community of patrons of Patreon, we've been able to bring to you these interesting takes on different weapon systems. And it's this small group of distinguished ladies and gentlemen, mostly, that become the driving force of 9-hole reviews. Emotionally, financially, intellectually, we owe it all to you. And for those out there who are considering becoming patrons, I'd like to invite you to become one of us. But we're also very happy to just hear from you in the comments section as well. We'll see you around.
All right. Welcome into the debrief. It's another wood rifle type of day, Henry. It's a wood rifle, which I know you're just so excited about.
Josh, it's
let
a
me
Swedish
just say,
wood rifle.
let me just say, Henry, I need to get this off my chest. This is what I know about this rifle. It's a Mauser, it's a Swede, and it's in 6.5. This is what I know. Also, it performed pretty freaking awesome. You know what? You probably shouldn't have missed at 400 with the sniper rifle that you then tagged 900 with on your first shot.
Okay, I admit that was a. It wasn't just an elevation miss too. If it were just like elevation that I could still blame, I could just like blame his elevation issue. No, it was a windage issue too. So that was completely my problem. I will admit that. But Josh, can we take a moment and revel in the amazing Swedish 6.5x55 wonder machine, of which is resting upon my shoulders right now?
It was a pretty serious. That was a pretty sick run. It's a pretty awesome shooting rifle. Clearly,
we've shot a lot of CNRs. Mm-hmm. I think this one is probably one of the best shooting CNR rifles that we've seen. But I am going to make a years ago, Ian made a video on the M41b sniper rifles, and he claimed that it was the best sniper rifle from World War II.
Taking a look at what is arguably the best Mauser sniper rifle ever made, and that is the Swedish M41b.
Bold statement by Ian. And while a lot of people resented that because it massively jacked up the prices of these things, I was one of them who was looking for one of these things and saw the video and just like instantly I just closed my laptop and wanted to throw it into the ocean. But let's look at, we can spend this time to kind of like delve into this. Is it the best sniper rifle from World War II? From a neutral country?
Of all, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So I can... You want me to just kind of go through the differences between this and the main rifle first? And
give me the history.
All right.
What's the history on this bad boy?
You're pulling my leg and really asking for it. So I will give you what you want to hear: the war stories of the lack of war stories, because it was a neutral country who did not partake in any wars. So the Swedish M41 initially, not the B, the M41s. Were accurate. They weren't accurized. They pulled the best shooting M96 long rifles off the shelf and put scopes on them. And who best to get optics from at that era than the Germans?
Oh.
And so in the ripe age of 1941, I think the program initially started around the 30s. Era, they contracted a lot of these IAC. A lot of Americans would say AJAC. I pronounce it IAC because it's German pronunciation. I think Deutschlanders out there, correct me if I have mispronounced it, because I certainly don't have a lot of Deutschlanders talking about IAC scopes in my social circle. But one of the best optics of the era. And still, you look through this thing. Compared to a lot of World War II era stuff, this is strange.
It was primo.
It was strangely.
It was primo. Yep.
They put the short side rails on them, bolted them onto the M96 long rifles, using the 6.5x55 Swedish cartridge. One thing, bolts are always blued, bent bolt handle to accommodate the scope. So those are some of the giveaways. If you have a fake and you're kind of curious about it, look at the bolt, look at the bolt handle. Put together an amazing package for sniping. You have a well-built rifle. Remember, the Swedes are known for their superior steel because that's one of their national. That's one of their national products is high-quality steel. They had an amazing cartridge and amazing optic. What could go wrong? In the terms of defense logistics, if you outsource a major component of any of your line items, that is a vulnerability. And guess which subcontractor was at war at this point?
Oh no.
So the rifles were produced in Sweden, but the problem was the optics. The optics were German produced, and at that point, the Germans were needing quite a bit of optical support out Ost, in the Ostfront. East, that is, and hanging out with some Vasily Zaitsevs out there. So the IAC scopes became scarce, and then outright they canceled the contract with them. No more. And so the Swedes were stuck with AGA Optics, which was a local homebrew. You can still see some of them on the used market, and they are just not nearly as good. The clarity is not there. The glass quality is not there. They're more fragile, but they're interesting, So on the collector's sphere, you don't always collect the best. You collect things that are historically significant and interesting, right? So after World War II, the 1940 model, the M41, came under a refurbishment program, And so the Swedes started looking at things to, improve. A lot of the AGA scopes got swapped out for post-war IAC scopes. The rear sight, you can see the rear sight. It has a little micrometer wheel here, which is different from the original slide sights.
And what year was this, Henry, that they started this program?
1955 was the M41b update project. And so that was one big thing. And then the other big thing, you can see there's a little set screw right here. That was the other set screw that they had updated to these rifles. And so from 1955, and you can see mine also has the marksman sling, which is from the autistic collector's perspective. If you put a line rifle sling here, it's just inappropriate. So I got the marksman sling to add to it. And this whole package became then the Swedish m41b updated sniper project. So what you ended up with is a very nicely produced receiver. And all of those were older receivers. For instance, this was a 1909 made base rifle.
Wow.
You had it shooting an amazing cartridge and running some of the best optics of that era. So 1940s, 1950s. And
Dude, I can't get over that. It's a 100-year-old rifle?
yeah, it's 1909.
110.
Yeah.
What was the other rifle that we shot on the show? Was it the M96?
The M96, it was 1901, 1900. That was a 1900.
These Swede rifles are incredibly accurate. And the round,
Yeah.
obviously, the cartridge is incredible.
Yeah, so as far as the M41, it wasn't just a sniper rifle that came out during the 41 era. The cartridge also had an overhaul. And so I make my personal loads to correspond to the M41 cartridge specs that use the pointy tip instead of the round tips. And so all of those things combined, you have a cartridge. The 65x55 shoots ballistically similar to a 6.5 Creed. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the other thing that's absurd, right? Back in the day, you had this cartridge that already delivered that performance, but the case pressure was lower, so you had less wear on the throat. And the reason for that is because there's larger case capacity. And the reason we didn't use anything like that is because we were trying to... 6.5 Swede is essentially taking sort of the ballistics of this. I don't know if it's this, but this style of ballistics and then shrinking it into a cartridge that goes into the 308 magazines that the 308 systems can use. And with that, you have added chamber pressure, you have some other things that are undesirable. But the Swedes, so many years ago, had already been making something that, and they have the AG42, we've shown the Jungmann, they have a direct impingement semi-auto that shoots 6.5 very, very, very well. And they had been playing the 6.5 game this whole entire time. So, look, I'm a fan of this rifle. I don't know if people can tell. It is a
now, Henry, how long was this in service for?
That's the other crazy thing. When do you think? Just off the bat, just look at this thing. How long do you think it's survived?
Classic CNR 100-year-old, 110-year-old rifle?
Yes.
My mind would tell me into the 60s or 70s, maybe into the late 70s or early 80s at longest. But the way that you just asked that leads me to believe that it's going to be a lot later.
Swedish people, Swedish soldiers, NCOs out there, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the last M41B was transferred out of Swedish Home Guard service in 1995. So it lasted all the way up into the mid-90s before it was transferred. It was completely retired. I mean...
What was it replaced by?
I'm glad you asked. The Arctic Warfare. So that's the interesting thing, right? So the Swedes, they went from one amazingly shooting rifle system, great glass, great everything, and they went directly from that into another like premium peak sniper.
Talk about the. I mean, look, yes, this is a really nice shooting gun, but like, talk about an upgrade. Like, could you imagine being there at that point in time, be like, give me a 6-foot rifle? Yes.
Well,
here's your replacement. Like, holy crap.
I mean, the Swedes don't mess around with weapon programs. I mean, they want things that last too. Like, if you look at all the things that they adopt, they tend to adopt things that will last. And I think one thing that we learned from Sweden on the weapon program on the m41bs is the fragility when you contract a lot of stuff externally, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, that's not a good thing because they contracted the English to make the PSG 90. It is the PSG 90. And obviously the glass, they're still using German glass on it. But the Swedes, they have a pretty robust small arms manufacturing capability just internally. And they also have Aimpoint that produces some pretty decent optics. So back to this, though, it is one of those rifles that I think up until Ian... Okay, so in the autistic collector sphere, that's my people. Yeah, of course people know about the Swedish Mausers. You know, the big problem I ran into back then is that I couldn't afford one. And so when Ian made the video, you know, and I'm friends with Ian, I'm not saying he shouldn't make the video, more people learn about it and more people realize this is actually really good. And so these things, one of the biggest hindrances of people getting into Swedish rifles is the cartridge. 6.5 by 55 is not commonly available for people to purchase. And so when people look at these things, they usually look past it. They'll go for an 8mm Mauser before a 6.5 by 55. And yet this is one of those things that is just absolutely absurd. It's been around, this particular rifle's been around since 1909. I have another Swede Mauser that's been around since 1899, shooting that same cartridge. There was an upgrade, but that same cartridge. And this particular rifle with an optic that was from the 40s. And this lasted all the way up to the mid-90s. And, you know, for reference, that was this rifle basically had overlap, if you technically want to talk about this, had overlap with the M24. It was replaced by the AW, of course. It also had overlap with the M16A2 as it was coming into service, and the M4A1 as it was being developed in the 90s.
Crazy.
And this was still serving.
So to the claim that this is the best sniper rifle of World War II,
the best Mauser sniper rifle ever made.
I would say we've shot the lot of them, basically, at this point on the show. I'm pretty sure that this was the easiest performer when it came to, like, I mean, we took this thing to 1,000, and this was like the easiest performer. I know at 1,000 there were a couple shots that were right next to the plate that the berm just sort of like sucked in, and we couldn't really see it until we were looking at it in post-production. But we were still able to get on target there, like, just like, yeah, we're confident in the elevation. Let's make a wind correction. Just make a bold correction on the wind and see if we can get on. And you got an impact on 1,000. And it's like, yeah, okay. This is, from a performance perspective, hard to deny as being one of the top performers of that class that we've if not the top performer of what we've had on the show.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at how we evaluate the best performers from, like, just modern stuff, right? We wanted to shoot a very good cartridge. We wanted to have good craftsmanship on the action. You could see how buttery smooth the action is here. Lockup is fantastic. The barrel is using some of the best steel and best machining of its era. The optic, as long as you're not using the AGA optics, this optic, I could spot my hit at 1,000 with my bare eyes through the optic and spot where on the plate in correlation it was. That little bullet hole on the white plate. And so if you're using metrics like that, right, then you're taking away all the logistical reasons, all the employment and all of that. If you're looking at a pure performance perspective, I agree with Ian that this was, on the pure performance side, the best sniper rifle from World War II. And a lot of those performance metrics directly translate to how we evaluate current sniper rifles nowadays.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do have to say, though, if you start delving into the logistical aspect of things, knowing that back in World War II, they weren't, outside of the Germans, nobody was really issuing sniper cartridges. Maybe that's even a plus to 6.5 using 6.5 Swede, because they were just all running around with sniper cartridges at that point, I guess.
Crazy.
But you start delving into the different advances in sniping technology. I think the closest contender, if you really delve into the use case and everything, I would say the number 4 Mark 1T, the British sniper in 303, is still one of the better ones that came out of the war.
So would you say, of the ones that were actively employed in combat, that was the top of the heap?
See, this is difficult, right? Each sniper has its own perk. If you're purely talking about sniping technology and marksmanship, I think the M41b takes a cake. If you're talking about a very versatile mag-fed system that you could quickly get follow-up shots on because of the Lee Enfield action, decent enough glass, very easy to use, yes, the M41b. If you're talking about ammunition versatility and being able to use some weird stuff that they have in inventory, both the 98K and the Mauser Nagant sniper had explosive ammo, like the Patron in the German arsenal, and the Soviets also had explosive ammunition as well. Like, that gives you a very scary output, like a payload on someone. In fact, 8mm has a larger payload than the 7.62 in that aspect, right? And so I think it's kind of like these things are really difficult. That's why I preface this in saying, if we're talking about pure marksmanship, not talking about logistics and stuff like that, not talking about use case, of course, the M41B, because this matches closely to what we currently judge sniper rifles as good or bad. But if
I think you now have to do a tier list, Henry, or a tier video of all of the World War II. I think you have to do it now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think that this is a good idea, please go to the comments section and berate Henry that he must do tier lists on World War II snipers.
Okay, so we have the Swede. Technically, I guess we can get a Finn, because like Simo just straight up used a normal Finnish Mosin, an M28, and then like just ran it as a sniper rifle. So I guess the Finn would be a line rifle as a sniper. We have the 03A4, the American, which is my least favorite of all of them due to the glass. I know, hurt. We have the 98K. We have the Mauser Nagant sniper. Is there
Number
anyone
4T.
else? Huh?
The Brit, the Brit, number
the number
4T.
4. Yeah, I think. Did I count the number 4 already? Yeah. So we have the major few. We just don't have the Japanese. The Japo sniper is the hardest to get of all of them. But yeah, Josh, I don't know if the audience really wants it. I suppose just leave a comment down below. If I feel inclined enough, maybe we could work something out on the best snipers of World War II.
Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We certainly had a good time shooting this rifle, which again was a phenomenal shooter. And again, I'm blown away anytime something that's over 100 years old has performance like this. It's like, what? Absolutely awesome. Do all the good YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Head over to Patreon and join us over in the private Discord. We certainly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you on the range.
Good.
That was awesome.
Patron 6 is Steel 96, 4 Vic, 8 packs, Red Con 1, green to green. How copy, over?
Steel 96, this is